Welcome to Market Day Report. I guess if we're calling it Market Day Report, we need to look at markets, don't we? How about we start there with the corn market and the overnight trade down a penny on the front 3 months, including December at 425.5, and the March at 436.5 was a penny lower as well. What about soybeans? After that down day yesterday, November did punch a little higher, 10.04 1/4, but January half penny lower, 10.07 1/4. Is there anything that can punch wheat prices higher? We've been lower pretty much the entire week, down 6% this week, 7% month over month, and the wheat market has lost nearly 15% of its value since January 1st. July Chicago, 570. It's off 4 1/4, and in the overnight session, hard red down 4 1/4 on the July at 568 3/4, and then over to spring wheat December, penny and a half higher, 572.5, but the deferreds all in the red, and cotton market was 5 points higher on the December, 68.95. You might want to write home about that. It's the only move higher we've seen in cotton pretty much this week. Brian Hoops is president, Midwest Market Solutions. Brian, I went through the numbers, but I failed to mention a flash sale of soybeans. I know you like to check those early in the morning.
Yeah, you're right, Tony. Good morning. 176,000 beans sold to an unknown destination. So it's been the first sale of soybeans this entire week, and we didn't have a whole lot of sales last week. We didn't have weekly export sales report this morning. That is delayed until tomorrow because Monday was a government holiday due to Veterans Day. So we will have weekly EIA report today at 10 o'clock and the weekly export sales tomorrow morning. We'll also have NOPA crush report tomorrow morning at 11. So quite a few reports coming out in the next 24 hours or so that could give us a little bit of direction. This export sales, I think, is important because we've dropped about 40 cents or so from our highs that we made just last Friday. Now we're starting to see maybe some of these exporters come back in to the market here and buy some more soybean product at these lower levels. Conab was out this morning as well. They raised just slightly the Brazilian soybean crop and the Brazilian corn crop from previous estimates. So they're at about 166.14 million tons. The USDA is at 169. So they're still close, but not exactly aligned. But you consider that 166 or 169 crop that they're growing in Brazil versus last year's 152 or sub 152 crop, whatever it worked out to be. That's a big jump from last year to this year. We're going to have a lot more product to sell in the open market when they get to their harvest time frame through the winter and into the spring time frame. That makes me concerned about these private export sale announcements. A lot of them, it's great to see these soybeans, but these are not inspected. They're not sent out on ships yet. They're just being purchased. So it means they're hedges against potential crop problems and higher prices down the road. If prices move a lot cheaper into the winter months, which they did last year, a lot of these purchases can be canceled. So take these with a grain of salt. We could see a little bit of a bounce maybe sometime this morning in the soybeans just because we have dropped 40 cents and we want to try and maybe bounce off that 10.03, 10.04 area. Seems like we've been doing that last couple sessions. But yet soybean meal is at new contract lows, and that's going to be a drag against that soybean market.
All right, Brian, hang on just a moment. We'll take a break, come back. We'll talk livestock futures. Market Day Report continues in a moment. So yesterday we were talking about asking prices for live cattle, cash cattle. Well, across the South and the North, 188 to 189, but we actually throw in a bid now. Packers bidding 185. Yeah, we've got a gap in there, but actually sold a few at, I think, 185 in the North, dressed at 290. Light sells, but still we're getting maybe the pump primed for later today and tomorrow. Let's look at live cattle futures and how we settled yesterday. Front 3 months in the red, December 184.02, down 37. Kind of right in line with that 185 sell. February 186.07 off a nickel. Now for the feeders on Wednesday 35 lower, front month at 246.47. January 7 cents higher at 243.65. The deferreds were 47 to 77 higher. And the hog market up 8.9% month over month. December, though, off 47 yesterday, 81.87, though we hit 99.97 on the June contract, up 22. And I don't know why I keep going to that June contract. Brian Hoops is with Midwest Market Solutions, and I guess I'm just waiting for that day when we hit the triple digits there. Seems pretty inevitable.
Oh, I think we'll get there. It may not be right away, but we'll get there sometime and probably go over that as we go into the summer months. I don't know that that's real attractive hedging prices for producers, but we're seeing a little bit softer cattle trade, as you alluded to. Some 290 trade in parts of Nebraska, $3 softer, 185 trade in Nebraska as well. That's a couple dollars weaker than last week, and we've seen those same 185 bids in parts of Texas this morning. So we haven't seen any trade yet, but it looks like we're going to be steady at best, but probably $1 to $2 lower this week in most of the trade. And that's not going to help us out on the futures market that much. We may get some hedge lifting that could give us a bounce, but it's going to be a real struggle. The Packers, the first couple days of the week, tried to cut their kills in an effort to prop up their box beef, and that hasn't really worked out. It kind of gave us mixed trade for a couple days. Yesterday, we were lower once again, and their margins are still in the red. So they really don't want to have to pay up and hurt their margins any further, and that softer cash trade will actually help them out in that respect. So could be tough going here for a while until we get into some tighter numbers, and that may be after the first year before we really start to see numbers tighten up once again. So I think it's going to be a struggle here for the next 4 or 5 weeks in this cattle market.
All right, Brian Hoops, President, Midwest Market Solutions. We'll see you back here in just under 24 hours. All right.